Eric Saperston is our guest. He lives in wonder. He wants us to live in wonder. I love that. I'm using it when I close off on a text or something. I go, live in wonder.
Nice.
Why not? Tell me about moments in your life when it wasn't also perfect.
The majority of my life isn't perfect. I don't know.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a real bump along the way and you think, I don't know,
Well,
not a good day. See, you don't get fired, so.
That's true. I don't have a job, so I can't get fired.
True.
I've really come to realize that next to any bump is the gift. So however treacherous the day is or whatever the wound is, there's always a gift. And so I have now come to relax and trust the process of life unfolding, and to realize that, I look for everything and look for the lessons that I can learn. So I mean, I'm not exempt from having a difficult time and having challenges, but I try to look for the lesson that I can learn inside of those.
Many of us are afraid to ask the questions to get us to where we want to go, as you know, or to face the reality, to embrace change, to get out of our little TikTok world and follow our dream. How do you get people to do that? Or is that their problem?
I think it's their problem. I don't think anybody can do anything for anybody except just be an example. One of the phrases that I'm a big believer is be yourself, everyone else is taken. And so I think that each one of us has a calling, a gift, something that's yearning inside, and either you have the courage to follow that instinct that's calling you forth, or you don't. And a lot of people seem to suffer, and I think everyone suffers. So it's just a matter if you're suffering doing what you love or suffering living somebody else's life.
Well, and in the back of Live the Wonder, you asked some very good questions, thoughtful questions. What is your deepest regret? Do you have one?
My deepest regret is always I could be nicer.
Oh, so you're just pretending?
No, I'm super nice, but I also have I have a dark side too, and so there are times where I can get frustrated and then say things that I wish I didn't mean, and so I think my challenge in my life has always been to keep trying to just expand my capacity to love and be loved.
And grow up and be who you really are, which you have apparently done. Tell me about this treehouse you live in Maui.
Oh, I'm so blessed. I live on a 13-acre organic farm in Maui that friends own, and they have a Robinson-style, like just ridiculous tree house, a Smith family Robinson-style tree house.
Up in the tree.
In a banyan tree, multi-tiered. It's just incredible. We have a guest room. It's
Really? Because one of my producers said, I think he means there's a tree that runs through the house.
No.
I said, I don't think so. I think he actually lives in a tree.
I do. I live in a tree. My mom, my 74-year-old mother, just came out to visit, and I told her that I lived in a tree house. And since I'm the kid who lived in this bus and did all these crazy things, she, of course, assumed that it was a tree house, like a little A-frame thing with, like little wood planks getting up to it. And thankfully, my mother at 74 is like, I'll go. And when she arrived, I opened up the door, and she's like, oh my God, there's windows and doors, and it was just this incredible eye-opening experience. But she had a blast. Yeah.
And tell me about the contents. Obviously, you have a stove, so you can make those grilled cheese sandwiches.
True that. We have a full kitchen and shower and the whole 9 yards. It's the people who designed it are amazing. The treehouse is amazing. It's awesome.
I bet. So back to the serious stuff. What's the purpose of life?
Oh, the purpose of life, I think, is to be who you are. And to trust your instincts. And I think now my journey changed a lot. Now it's just about connecting to spirit for me and being connected to the divine, and just to rip away everything that's in the way of love.
An unexamined life is not worth living. Somebody fairly famous said that. But it's true. But when we examine or go inside and try to find that part of us, sometimes nothing comes up. Have you noticed? Maybe for you lots comes up, but for some people they say, I don't know. I don't get this. That's kind of Pollyanna silliness, metaphysical silliness.
I guess everyone's entitled to their way of life, and I respect everyone's path. I can only speak about my own, and it has definitely brought me again, my circumstances taught me early on to trust your instincts, and then I've just been following them ever since.
You told me earlier you had an aha moment back when you began the journey in Bozeman, Montana.
Right, where you're from, yeah. So when I first came up with this crazy idea to travel around the country, I was in a jacuzzi with my friends after skiing in Bozeman.
Of course you were.
And we had an epic day of skiing in powder, jumped in the jacuzzi, had a couple of bottles of wine, jumped in the snow naked and made angels, had this amazing day. And I went and told my friends that I was going to take a trip and follow the dead and work a ski season after college. And they looked at me like a dog does when they're confused and tilt their head. And I didn't get the kind of love and support that I thought I'd get from my friends. And so the next morning, we went into the town of Bozeman, and I was sitting on a bench while my buddy was trying on some ski boots, and I was thinking about my trip and if I should do it or not. And I turned next to me, and I was sitting serendipitously next to actor Peter Fonda.
He lives in Livingston.
Right, so he's famous for Easy Rider, where they jump on the motorcycles and cruise around the country. And so I thought, all right, Mr. Fonda, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I was in the jacuzzi last night with my buddies, and I was thinking about taking a year off and following the Grateful Dead and working a ski season in Aspen. Do you think that's a good idea? And Mr. Fonda put his hand on my shoulder and he said, son, travel while you're young. And I thought to myself, divine intervention.
Sure, it's a message from above.
Oh, so great.
But serendipity is a big part of your life, obviously, kismet. You ask, you get. True?
Totally true. Serendipity is, the literal definition of serendipity is having an aptitude for making desirable discoveries by accident.
Okay.
And I've lived my whole life being able to do that, and I think how you increase your odds of making desirable discoveries by accident is completely living out on the edge past your comfort zone. When you're living completely out there in the elements, all your senses are awake. And when all your senses, you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, you're present. And when you're present, you can see the magic.
And we've all been present. Not every day, and not every moment, but we've been there. We know the feeling. So what you're really saying is try to have more of that feeling, more of that presence.
To me, that's the only thing, that's the only game in town, is just being present.
Sure, because when we die, don't we want to still be smiling? You know, they say we should die like wrung out, all used up.
With it was a scotch in one hand and chocolate in the other.
Exactly.
Saying, wahoo! Yeah.
Rather than being Alice lost in Wonderland.
Well, true. Allison goes up to the Cheshire Cat and says, which way do I go? And the Cheshire Cat says, which way are you going? And she says, I don't know. And he says, well, any road will take you there. So I think it's important to have a sense of where you're going, but there's even a deeper purpose of trusting the process of life unfolding. Once you know what your calling is, I think, I think the road will rise to meet you if you know what it is that's inside of you.
Very much. What's next? This book, Live and Wonder, great little book.
Thank
Put
you.
it by your bed, because you don't have to be a high intellect to read 4 lines, which is good.
I tried to make a book that I would read.
Yeah.
So I kept it really simple. But it's been really, I mean, people all over the world are getting this book, and the applications to it are amazing. People have been using it as corporations to have their executives go interview people they respect and admire. Other folks, I just had a person just email me from New York. They just had a baby, and so they sent the book to both sets of parents of them so that they could answer the questions, and then as a legacy gift to their grandchild. Couples are using it at night, so it's just been fascinating to watch how people from all around the world are using it.
Somebody said life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. So true, but the questions in the back are simple but complex.
These are the questions that I used in my film. When I went around the country, I would use these questions to interview people. And then this book is really an extension of the film that I made so that other people can go seek out their own journeys.
Sure. What do you believe in your heart but cannot prove? Oh my, that's a toughie.
What's your answer?
What do I believe in my heart but I cannot prove? I don't know my answer. What's your answer?
The existence of God.
Oh, okay. Can I borrow that?
Yes.
Of an infinite source.
Yeah.
Like I think there's an infinite source. I have no idea. I think we're connected. I think it's the light within. I think we all have that little light within. But I can't prove that either. Shel Buzzy may know. Do you think? He's a fix-it guy. He'll know about the light bulb inside.
What a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, pleasure
Fanny.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Continue that journey. I know you will. And I'll be over to have a little cocktail in the treehouse.
Please.
If you invite me.
You're invited.
Okay. Eric Saperston, Live in Wonder, quests, quotes, and questions to jumpstart your journey.